And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, Mixed Sports Show edition. I'm Terry. That's Bryant. We're going to break down a little bit of baseball here and then get to NHL playoffs before the first game starts. And I have another guest that will be joining me for the playoffs NHL portion here. So today's show is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to break down 5 games. We're basically just going to kind of break down what we like in the whole card. Kind of not all at once, but like we'll go take turns back and forth and just kind of break down what we like in the baseball card. So baseball. I guess I'll quickly just start. Let's see here. I'll just Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I'm not touching either of those games. I have no interest in either of those teams. Yeah, there's 18 games today, and I'm not going overly heavy with my volume, but those games were instantly taken right off the card. Dodgers are playing 2 games against the Cubs today. Kershaw is on the mound for game 1. So obviously I have the Dodgers money line in a parlay.
Yep.
Not much else can be said. It's Kershaw. Bryant, do you have any thoughts in the Pittsburgh Cincinnati games or the Dodger Cubs?
Yeah, I'm playing things on both in both games. It's kind of a weird slate. I don't have any desire to bet on the NBA tonight. Hockey's I'm still up in the air. Luckily, those games are a little bit later, with the exception of the Caps Panthers game. So I still got time to kind of sift through that. So to give myself something early to watch and get into the betting spirit for the day, I'm going to get in on this Pitt Cincinnati game. Brubaker is not a great pitcher at all, but my soul leans or like plays in this game honestly rests on the fact that I think that the Pirates have the better lineup. I don't know too much about Overton. I think he's only had like one start, and it was early this year. He did pretty well against the Rockies. I liked it. He performed pretty well. But ultimately, there's just no way I can reasonably back the Reds at any point right now. Like I just can't. So I'm not going to back the Pirates, like full game or like our full game run line. I think I'm going to go with the F5. I think I'm going to. I already got the F5 locked in, and I'm going to go with the Pirates team total over 4.5. I think, if anything, this is going to be either a really low scoring game or it's going to be just a battle of like whose bullpen can get like the most outs. And I said, I like the Pirates lineup better. Keep Ryan Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Vogelbach, and someone else is in there. So I'm gonna ride with them. I'm gonna ride with them here, and it's the lesser of two evils. So it's like that meme where you say that like you have like two bums fighting. That's kind of where we're at right here with this. So
Yeah, basically. Any thoughts on the Dodgers?
Yeah. I'm gonna double up on the Dodgers both games. Tyler Anderson's pitched pretty well. You get better value, I guess, on the money line with minus 180. I think you could parlay that with something else to make it work for you money wise. But in this first game with Kershaw on the mound, we got a Hall of Fame pitcher, Drew Smiley. He's not really good. One of my friends who's a Braves fan, diehard Braves fan, actually sent me this when I told him I was back in the Dodgers today. Smiley gives up home run almost like basically he's almost averaging like a home run every start. That's not going to play well when you have the Dodgers and you're going up against the Dodgers. You need to keep guys off bases because they have a lot of guys that can go yard. And it's Kershaw. He's a veteran. He knows how to navigate through lineups. He's gone through way worse lineups than what the Cubs have to offer. That bullpen is rested as well. A lot of the teams today are going to have rested bullpen. So give me the vet, give me the Hall of Famer, give me the better lineup and Wrigley. I'm going to take it on the F5 run line to get max value. There's no value in betting the money line. I think it's like minus 2 something, which is the case for the Dodgers in general. But yeah, I'm going to get in and get out. I think that they get to Smiley early. And yeah, that's where I'm going to go there. And like I said, I'm going to double up with the Dodgers in the second game.
Yeah,
As
I heard
well.
about that. Yeah, so the Ice Guys is obviously another show on the channel, but yeah, they were showing highlights because they have different hockey players come on, and I guess they were showing highlights, and copyright infringement got them.
Oh,
So, yeah, the show just got shut down mid
yeah,
show.
they just doxed them, just get it out of there.
Okay, so we still have there's 18 games today, so I'm just gonna zip through basically what I like, and I'll give in depth, or not in depth, but a brief analysis. So Sonny Gray and the Twins. I'm backing the Twins money line on one of my parlays. I'll go over both parlays at the end here. Basically, just I like the way the Twins are playing. Obviously, much more than Oakland. So I'm taking the Twins money line in that one. Gosman against Bieber in Game 1 that was postponed yesterday. I'm taking Gosman over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 100, and Gosman over 7.5 strikeouts at plus 180. He has been loading up the strikeouts. I think this is going to be a pitcher's duel, and I think it'll be a very close, low-scoring game. I'm not taking the under 6.5 because that's a hockey total, not really much of a baseball total. So I'd rather stay away from that. Mets money line. I had it yesterday. I'm going back to it. It's minus 150 today. So I do have it in one of my parlays there. The White Sox cease against Pavetta. I'm on the White Sox money line here. They've been playing much better as of late. And the Red Sox are falling apart. Blue Jays Cleveland game 2. Not really much of an opinion there. McKenzie can be really good, but also not so good. I'm hoping for a good game by Stripling, but I don't have any picks on that officially as of yet. Cardinals and Giants. Matt's against Webb. I want to take the Giants, but they're minus 135, and they are losing right now. So even though I do believe that they do have the slight pitching advantage with Webb against Mats, I can't take the Giants the way they're playing. So I do have Cardinals plus 1.5 in one of my parlays. Brewers and Braves. Burns against Fried. That's going to be an amazing game to watch. It should be another low-scoring game. Total of 7 here. I'm going right back to the Brewers money line today.
Yep.
And I'm going to be on Burns strikeouts once they are posted. And I'm willing to take 7.5 or 8.5 with Burns because he's been getting what's the word? He's been getting a double digit strikeouts last few games.
Yeah, he has excellent strikeout stuff.
Credit to you, Brian, too. Yesterday with the Lauer thing.
Yeah,
I haven't even really thought about going deep into pitchers' strikeouts, but it can be really profitable with the.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone that might have tailed. That was a no brainer. Honestly, that was the best play I think I've had. Like honestly, this baseball season to be quite frankly, it was easy. I mean, you look at the strikeout totals and who he was pitching against, and
he had one scary inning.
He had one inning where I was like, he might get knocked out.
Yeah, and I was worried. Is he going to get pulled? He was good.
Honestly, I think what saved him was the fact that the Brewers they got like 3 runs in the top of that inning, and it gave them a little leeway to say, all right, let's save our bullpen and we'll throw our starter back out there, and then he cruised the rest of the start. So, but yeah, no, strikeout props are legit. If you know the pitcher and you have a good sense of the matchup, I think that's a very profitable market because generally you're getting plus money on stuff like that. That's insane. Like Kevin Gausman, you're getting plus money for over 6.5 on a guy that has posted 9, 8, 10, 11 in like his last like 4 starts. Like, come on, man. I'll take that bet every time. It might, you might not hit it every time, but given those numbers and the trends, and the
books haven't
college,
really adjusted. Maybe they're not really focusing too much on
they're
baseball
probably
right
not.
now.
They're probably
But
going on totals because everyone is trying their totals and like sides and stuff like that. I know definitely totals though, because those totals fluctuate like throughout the day. Like I'll check something in the morning, it'll be like minus 110, and 3:30, 4 o'clock, right when everyone starts like loading up on money for those 5 o'clock. Well, I guess on the East Coast, it's the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock games. They've already like moved like 40 cents one way or the other. So I generally think that's where the focus is. Like, all right, let's see how we can adjust these. And they don't really care about the props. But to that point, I'm also going to be backing Kevin Gossman strikeouts today. I got it at plus money. Bovada, I don't know if that's your book or not. For anyone who's watching, you can get Gossman over 6.5 right now, plus 114. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, dude, this is stealing right now. So I'm gonna ride that, and that honestly, I'm not even gonna push my luck with the rest of that game. All the games on M are free on MLB TV this weekend because of Mother's Day. So I'm gonna be tuned into that game, and I'm going to watch that and see if I can get 7 strikeouts from Kevin Gossman. So that's my play for the Blue Jays. Guardians game 1. I'm not touching that second game. Ross Stripling is actually pitched pretty well, honestly. But this honestly feels like the exact type of game that he would absolutely crap the bed against the Guardians. And McKenzie's is a so-so pitcher as well. He's got some good stuff, but I just have no interest. I don't like either one of them enough to back it. If I did get into it, it'd be a total of some sort. But that's it for that Blue Jays Guardians game. I talked about the Pirates, Reds, Dodgers, Cubs doubleheader. I'm gonna back Sonny Gray. He's coming back. I'm gonna back him today against the Twins. Caprillion is making his second start of the year. He was a former Yankee draft pick. He's actually not a bad pitcher at all. But this is his second start of the season. His first one didn't go well at all. I think, as you mentioned, the Twins have been performing pretty well, all things considered. They had an excellent pitching performance last night. I think that they held the Athletics only 1 run. Just really good job. I'm gonna go back to the Twins here with the F5 run line. That's what I did last night. It worked. There was 1-0. It's fine with me. It got the job done. I expect there to be a little bit more offense off of Caprillion tonight. So that's where I'm going to go with that. And I think that the Minnesota team total over 4 is also a play. I expect to see a little bit more runs from both sides, to be honest with you. Gray might be rusty, and it takes him a while to get his feet under him. The Tigers Astros. This is a game I was kind of iffy about. I finally settled on something that I like. I'm going to keep it simple and go with the Astros F5 money line. I'm not going to go on the run line because I'm not sure how that's going to go with Framber Valdez. He's a decent pitcher, but the Tigers actually hit lefties pretty well. So they've got a good amount of power against lefties. So I'm gonna mix and match this a little bit. I'm gonna take the Astros F5 money line, which is set at or I'll take that back. It went up, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have to take the risk and go with the F5 run line. But it's minus a half. That's at minus 135. I'm going to take the chance there, and I'm also going to double up in this game, and I'm going to take the Astros team total over 4.5. You get it at even money. I don't think either one of these pitchers is going to keep either team off the board. This seems like a game where you could see some runs being scored on both sides just due to the matchups. We get another lefty for the Astros, and that's one of my betting rules for baseball. Astros and lefties is an automatic smash. I'm hammering them here. They hit the lefties really well. Same with the White Sox, obviously, as well with lefties. So, those are my plays there. Let's
Sox
see.
game? White Sox or Mets?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Dylan Cease. He's excellent. He's been pitching excellent. He's talented. He's young. He absolutely has some electric stuff. We're getting Nick Pivetta here. This honestly feels, in a way, it feels like a trap to me, because you're getting the White Sox at a really good price, and they have the clear-cut advantage at pitcher. And it's only being like minus 138 is kind of creeping me out a little bit, but I'm going to bite. But Pavetta's not good. He's not performed well at all this year. And the Red Sox are reeling right now. They couldn't get it done yesterday against Vince Velasquez. Like, what are we doing here? That was the final straw I needed to know that they're not really worth backing on the money line right now. They have to get their act together before I get back on that or any sort of side there for them. So give me Cease, and give me the White Sox lineup. They're slowly getting a little bit healthier, bit by bit, and I'm gonna take them here. I'm just gonna go full game. I got it at minus 138. I'm honestly willing to go on the run line here, just because of the discrepancy in pitcher, and get the plus money at plus 130. But the safe option here is just to get the White Sox to win. They didn't have to exercise too many of their bullpen arms. It was a pretty low intensity game. Even though it was a close game, Boston never really threatened in the latter innings. So they should have guys available tonight or this afternoon. And then the Mets, Phillies. It's Scherzer. Kyle Gibson is a pretty solid pitcher. But if you're giving me Max Scherzer on the road, against a team that he's familiar with, he's navigated a bunch of these guys before as a pitcher. That's where I'm headed. I think that the value here lies. It's minus 150 for both the 5-inning and the full game. So why not just go ahead and get the Mets F5 run line at minus 105? That's where I'm gonna head with that. I think Philly is like a one bad week away from like completely bottoming out. The bullpen blowing up every game. The Mets come back this 2 days ago. I think it's like right on the cusp of like breaking them completely. I just don't think they have the mental fortitude to navigate through all this, and they don't have the players. So with that being said, and it's not going to get any easier because they are going up against another Hall of Famer in Max Scherzer. Give me the Mets, and let's get it moving. So,
all right. So it's a bit of a not brief, but we went like 20 minutes and tried to zip through as many games as we could here.
Yeah.
So we'll jump into best bets and everything before the hockey starts. I'll bring up the current standings. Parlay Pieces going well. Best bets been kind of rough for the most part, but long baseball season.
Yeah, it's still, I look at the numbers there and I was like, man, 10-9-1, but then I realized there's 162 games, man. Like,
yeah, like it's still very early, so we'll go here, and I don't have anything typed in. I'm a slacker. No, I'm kidding. We'll start with dog of the day. I'm not on any dogs, so I will not be choosing any. If I had to pick one, it would be the Cardinals, but I don't, so I won't choose one. Nick is going Washington, and Tim is going St. Louis. Bryant, any dogs you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I love them, man. I don't know why. I'm going to the Marlins again. I've had mixed success with them as my dogs, but I just love Pablo Lopez. He had a kind of rocky start his last time out, but I'm leaning towards the Marlins here. Marlins are going to be my play for dog of the day. I feel like this is just a good spot for him. Manaea's not been his usual self. He's had a couple of kind of eyebrow-raising performances. He's got some, and most of all of his starts, he's had like a couple of like really shaky innings, and has gotten lucky with some ground balls, double plays here and there. But yeah, I'm going to go with Miami. They got Pablo Lopez on the mound. I think because of that, they have the better pitcher, and I'm going to back them. I'm going to back them today to get a win.
All right. I almost bet San Diego, but I stayed off. It was a very close lean, but I stayed off. So over under. Nick went Colorado, Arizona over 8.5, and Tim went Toronto, Cleveland over 6.5. Interesting. I'm not taking a total today. I'm still not on totals yet, really, for the most part. Brian, any totals that you like today?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna hop in on this Brewers or no, this Rays Mariners total right here. It's over 7.5. You know what? I'm gonna renege on that. Take that off. I've got a better one. I'm gonna go with the Brewers Braves under. We got Corbin Burns and Max Fried. Come on. Two excellent pitchers. It's under 7, I believe.
Yeah. Sorry. I was just looking to see if 7 or 7 plus 100. So you might be able to find a 7.5 out there, but
Yeah, matter of fact, yeah, let me see what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with the under 7.5. I mean, come on. Burns is a dominant pitcher. Fried's starting to look like himself as well. He's starting to live up to that number one starter role. Two guys with really good strikeout stuff as well. That helps a lot when you're trying to nail an under. No contact is better because the chances of anything fluky happening when the ball is put in play goes up considerably. I mean, there's the huge line there. So if guys aren't getting on base and they're not making contact, that's less opportunities for base runners, and base runners usually can lead to runners. And so I'm just going to go with the Brewers and the Braves there, under 7.5. Look for pitcher's duel.
all right. Best bet, best parlay pieces. Oh, I'm tempted on the White Sox money line. But I'm going to go Gosman over 6.5 strikeouts.
That's literally what my best bet was going to be. So we're in the same boat.
Yeah, you can still choose
it. I knew it.
I was leaning also to Milwaukee money line, but
yeah,
at this price, and you got it for minus 115 or plus 115.
Yeah, I got it minus. I got it for plus 114.
114, perfect.
Yeah,
and you're going with the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, I like it. Best parlay piece. I'm gonna go Dodgers money line.
Yeah,
game one.
Yep. Same thing. It was gonna be the Yankees if we were gonna play today, but that game got canceled like 7:00 this morning. So, I'm just gonna go with Clayton Kershaw to get it done. Game one. Try to spell the bullpen in case they need it for this game 2. So yeah, give me the Dodgers money line game 1, and that's it for me.
Perfect. Are you going to stay for NHL or no?
I'm gonna probably bow out, and I'm gonna go probably cap. I'm gonna have you. I'm gonna be watching, but I'm gonna probably go take a look at some of this NBA stuff and see what I can do with hockey as well. So,
all right, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
See ya. And all right, so now we are going to head to hockey now, and I will bring in Melissa here. I think she is currently walking her dog. So, Melissa, you are on the air. And I sent out the link to other people, and we'll see.
Perfect.
I think Andy might be joining us shortly here, but we are just going to jump right into it because we have a game starting here in a few minutes, and it's.
Can you hear me okay, sir?
Yep, you're good. My best bet is involved. Yeah, no worries. My best bet and Melissa's best bet are both involved in this game. So we will, and here's Andy. So we'll jump right into it because it's starting here very shortly. The Panthers minus 200 are in Washington plus 170, total 6.5. Florida won the first game. Oh, sorry, Washington won the first game. Florida bounced back in game 2. Now we're here in game 3. Okay. Yes, it is in Washington now. Yes, Florida's not as good on the road as they are at home, but I like the Panthers and reg here, minus 120. They are the better team, and I think they come out to show it here in a few minutes. Melissa, Panthers and Caps, any thoughts here?
Yeah, and just a heads up, I'm currently outside right now and it's a little windy. So if it gets a little too noisy, let me know. No, I love the Panthers. I think that they are in a better situation being on the road than the Capitals have been struggling at home. I do like the confidence that this team gained, beating the Capitals. They obviously had a slow period start. I think a lot of us were thinking the Capitals were going to get a goal there early, and then it was going to be a repeat of game one. But they came on in the last 2 minutes of that period and finally started to get goals, which is obviously what Florida does best here, and that's what they need to do is get goals. So I love the Panthers in regulation. I actually locked it in last night at minus 115. In regards to the total, this is going to be an interesting one because we've seen both games ending at a 6. I do think with this being a day game, I do lean towards this maybe going under. It sometimes takes a little bit longer for these teams to get going, but I'm not touching that total just because, head to head, typically these two from a series standpoint have trended towards the over. And since we haven't seen that over hit in the first two, I'm just going to lay that off and only stick with the side.
All right. I'm trying to figure out how to do best bet thing here. Because other people have stuff in this game. So if you want to see the best bets, the link. Shoot, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to just bring up best bets now. I'm going to bring up best bets right now and go over what's in this game so people that are watching can get it in right away. I'm on Florida and reg is my best bet. Barkov over half a point is my parlay piece. Occupancy has Washington and reg with Nashville and reg. Washington has his dog of the day. Turnsey has Florida and reg is his best bet. Sam has Washington money line is his best bet. Washington money line is his parlay piece. Washington as his dog of the day. Toller likes Florida plus 1.5 as his parlay piece, and the first period over 1.5, which we would have to get to like very quickly. So that is basically it. Melissa, your best bet is in this game as well. It's Florida and reg, right?
Yes, Florida and reg is going to be my best bet. I'll do a different parlay piece and a different total, but Florida and reg.
All right, and we'll get to Andy here. Andy, is your best bet in this game or no?
This is when Andy comes on and goes, "Give me the Capitals."
Probably, but Andy, is your best bet in this game or no?
Well, firstly, I hope I don't sound like that, but no, my best bet's not in this game.
All right, what do you think here, Panthers and Caps?
So I'm on the Capitals.
No,
look, I just think that this series has been mispriced from the outset. Florida are deserved favorites, but Florida also are a franchise that have not won a playoff series, a single series, since 1996. And Washington Capitals have a lot of veteran experience. And now you've got Florida, who are on the road, where they have not performed anywhere near as well as when they're at home. And Washington have already shown that they could win in Florida. In fact, they did what no other team has done this season and beat Florida from behind in the third period. So I think Washington's very live in this series, very live in this game. And at Capital One Arena, the underdog has won 5 of the last 6 games for the Washington Capitals. So I like Capitals to win this game. I'm going to also take them plus 1.5 as well, because I don't think, they are the underdog. So, Florida is meant to win this game according to the bookies. So I'm going to cover myself with plus 1.5. And with regards to the total, I've gone over 6.5 in game 1, and that ended up 4-2. I went over 6.5 in game 2, and that ended up 5-1 with no goals in the third period. Call me a sucker. I'm going back to the well. I'm going over 6.5 again in this game.
Yeah, those are kind of two bad beats. That sucks when you have this over 6.5 and it lands on 6 both games. That's a bad beat.
Yeah, if they look, I do think we see early goals in this game, but if we don't, I would be very much open to live betting the over in this game because I do think we get to at least 6 goals in this game. So if you can get a live over 5.5, I'd jump on that.
All right. Moving on to the second game here. The Avalanche minus 235 are in Nashville, plus 195, total 6.5 in this one. Nashville took the Avalanche to overtime in game 2. The Avalanche got the win there. But Nashville's goalie, I'm totally blanking on his name all of a sudden, Ingram, he played very well. Very well, a lot better than Riddick did in last game. Kept the Predators in it. The Avalanche obviously won in OT. Now they head to Nashville, and I don't have any official plays on this game yet, but something's telling me that maybe Nashville could be a live dog here in the spot at home for game 3 here. A lot of value on them, plus 195. Nashville plus 1.5 is minus 130. I know a lot of people say, why would you take the minus 1 or why would you take the plus 1.5 when you can get the plus money? Like, a lot of people don't like to make dogs favorites, I guess it's called, but I see this being a close game. I kind of see a repeat of game 2. So I'd rather be on Nashville plus 1.5 minus 130 and cash a bet if they do lose by 1, rather than go big and hope and rely on them to need to win. I'd much rather take the plus 1.5 at minus 130 because that's a very good price for a plus 1.5. Melissa, Avalanche and Preds, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, that this game is going to be very loud. Those fans in Nashville, they sure know how to start a party, and they're going to get the crowd into this. I laid off the Predators in this series. I actually have a small play on the Avalanche sweeping. I'm sure many people do as well, and then also laid them at minus 2.5 for the series. But Nashville did impress me just only from the goaltending standpoint. I mean, let's remember this team, the Nashville Predators, they have not many people that were helping score goals in regards to those games. I think that the Avalanche completely dominated them. They dominated them from a shots on goal standpoint. They dominated them from a scoring chance standpoint. I mean, if they didn't have that goalie, that game would have easily gone 6-1. So tonight, I think we're going to see Nashville's best effort, and their best effort is going to have to be getting at least 3 or 4 goals. I do like the over in this one. I know it's a little risky just going off of the excellent goalie performance, but I tend to like to fade that when you get a goalie that is very spot on. I like to see if he can do that again. So I like the over 6.5 for this one.
All right. Andy, Avalanche and Preds. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think when we discussed the series preview, most people said probably this is a 5-game series with Nashville winning game 3. Colorado did what they had to do in their first 2 games. They won. Nashville showed what they showed in the regular season too, where they won 3 games, 2 of which went to overtime. They showed that they can hang with Colorado, albeit I agree, Colorado absolutely dominated that game. That's usually the case when Colorado loses a game. I can't really think of many games where Colorado was outplayed, even in their losses. You need a lot of luck to beat Colorado, and you need a really good goalie having a great day. I think Ingram. I do wish that Ingram didn't have such a good game last time. because it's going to be hard for him to do that 2 games in a row. But I do think what you will see as a difference between games 1 and 2 and games 3 is the offensive production by Nashville. I think when they're home in front of their crowd, this is their Stanley Cup. They know that they're not going to win this series. They know that probably they win this game, and then the series is going to be over. Colorado wraps it up in games 4 and 5. But I think you're going to see their best effort from an offensive point of view. Nashville should be able to put up goals. Nashville has played Colorado very well at Bridgestone Arena. The underdog has won the last 6 times the Avalanche have gone to Bridgestone Arena. The underdog has won. Now, albeit some of those were Colorado being the underdog a couple of years ago. But still, this is another arena where the underdog tends to triumph. Nashville are much better at home. I think you see their best effort. I think they walk away with the win here. I also like what Mel's on with the total. I'm on the over 6.5. This series has just gone over every single time, both in the regular season and now in the playoffs. So over 6.5. Nashville plus 1.5. Nashville money line. I'm on all 3 of those plays. I don't have a problem taking a plus 1.5 at small minus odds, because at the end of the day, all Colorado are looking to do is come out with a win, particularly on the road. They don't need to destroy Nashville. They already did that in game 1. They asserted their dominance. They're looking here to, ideally they want to win game 3 and 4, but I think they'll be happy with winning one of these games. So if they do get the lead, I think that Nashville will keep it close enough to keep it within 1 goal.
I love it. Exactly. We'll go on to the next one here. This one's going to be interesting. Rangers minus 120, Pittsburgh plus 100, a total of 6 here. This one's tough. I'm leaning to Rangers money line. I'm also leaning to the draw, but I haven't officially bet anything yet. I like Pittsburgh because they're at home, but the Rangers' goaltending advantage is pretty big here. And I don't know why this is priced as it is. I guess because Pittsburgh is at home. That would probably be why. But I think the Rangers should kind of be around minus 140 in this spot. Yep, they split the first 2 games in New York. Now they're coming to Pittsburgh. I like the Rangers here. I think they win a close game in OT. So I probably will have both Rangers money line and the draw on my card. If you want to know officially, check the spreadsheet. The link is in the description of this video, and you'll be able to find out whether or not I get to Rangers and the draw. But I'm leaning both ways for sure. Melissa, your Penguins facing the Rangers at home here. Is Crosby going to have a night tonight?
He's always going to have a night in the playoffs. It's actually a shame, though, because he's playing so well. So it's a shame that, they obviously don't have a goaltender. It would have been great if they got Marc-Andre Fleury, except another team ended up getting him in the playoffs and are striding right now. So thanks a lot, Terry. No, so I personally have a rule where I do not touch the Penguins from a side perspective in regards to the playoffs. It's just a personal thing that I just, if my team loses, it's kind of annoying when you lose money at the same time. So that's just me personally. I do like the total. The first 2 matches did go over, and I think that this is a similar series to where the Canes in Boston were that's one where it keeps going over as well. I see a lot of goals coming. I think the Crosby line has just been phenomenal. So in regards to any sort of props, if you're going with Crosby, Russ, or Gensel, you're probably going to hit at least 1 or 2 of those. I actually was grateful that Gensel has already scored 3 goals in this series, as I took him as a series prop over 2.5 goals to start off. So I think that line is something that, is performing extremely well, and the Rangers haven't been able to answer. The problem is that the Penguins' other lines have been performing poorly, and Rangers have been taking advantage of that. So tough on the side. I don't really know what's going to happen. I kind of think that Rangers probably are going to at least split at home here. I think that either Penguins win tonight, Rangers win on Monday, or vice versa. But in regards to the side, nothing for me. And in total, I would say over 6 at even money.
All right. Yeah, I may get into some props in this game too. I'll have to see after the show. But props can be pretty profitable, especially in the playoffs. Like Joel Eriksson-Ek for the Wild yesterday, plus 110 to get a point. I don't really think the books are paying too much attention to props as much, so I'll be definitely looking at that after the show. Andy, Rangers and Penguins, what do you think happens here?
This is a really tough game. I'm not sure I'll play it. I'm still thinking about it, but the Pittsburgh goalie situation is a major problem for them, not only for this game and this series, but also for obviously if they want to go on a deep run, which they're capable of, given the players they've got on the ice. You know, I probably lean towards Pittsburgh in this game for two reasons. One of which is that the Rangers, who don't have a great deal of playoff experience, they were forced in a corner in that game too. They had to win that game. That was an absolute must-win game for them, and it was very tight to start with. The first half of that game, Pittsburgh were matching up against them, and they were only ahead by one goal, and then obviously things opened up later in the game. So they won, and I just feel like for New York, that may be a giant exhale moment. Oh my God, we were up against the wall. We had to win. We finally did win. We leveled up the series, and I could see them coming out flat in this game. And for Pittsburgh, you know, the onus is on them now. They now have to win their home games. And Pittsburgh has played this underdog role at home following a loss very well. In that they've actually won 4 of their last 5 games as a home underdog following a road loss. So I think a small underdog price, I would lean towards Pittsburgh, but I have a lot of concerns regarding their goaltender situation. I believe Jari took to the ice for the first time today. I don't know what that means in terms of when he could return, but they have a major goaltending problem.
Yeah, I agree. But Carolina's goaltending situation hasn't really looked isn't looking too good as well. But they
But the difference with
lost last week.
Carolina,
Yeah,
the difference with Carolina between Carolina compared to most other teams in the NHL, their top 2 goalies are almost interchangeable. Yes, Freddie Anderson is incredible, but Antti Raanta is almost as good. You know, it's not that much of a step down to Raanta. And then obviously Piotr has been a sensation that's come in. It was unfortunate he was put into that situation, but it's a good experience for him. You know, it's always hard to go into the Boston Cauldron in a game that they had to win.
yeah.
But that's a good experience for him, because I suspect that we will need to rely on him going forward if we emerge victor from this first round series. So, but I just think that when you look at Carolina's, 1A and 1B, so to speak, compared to most other teams, including Pittsburgh, there's not that much difference in Carolina's 1A, 1B. There is a big difference between Pittsburgh's goaltenders.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Where when it comes to the Carolina series, I will give a little preview here. I will not be touching that series in the next game, probably the rest of the series, because I bet Boston the first 2 games. That did obviously not work. So I went to Carolina in game 3. That did not work. So game 4, no play in that game for me. I'm taking that series off. But I have a pick in this game that I really like. The Flames minus 165 are in Dallas plus 145, a total of 5.5. The Stars split the series in Calgary. They were able to win a nice win against the Flames in game 2. Both these, the first 2 games have gone under here. I like the draw in this, and I really like the draw in this. I think we're going to have a very close game, and I think this could be kind of like the first Pittsburgh game where we could see double OT, maybe even triple OT. I really like the draw in this game. I think it's going to be incredibly close. That, or I think the Flames will rout them. So it'll either be either or. The Flames will smash the Stars, or it'll be a close game that'll go to OT. But I'm taking the draw here. I really like it. Melissa, Flames and Stars. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the first two games of these two teams head to head completely revolved around Dallas's style. Like, to think going back before these two teams started in this series that the Flames would only have one goal after two games is just, it's astonishing to me that would happen. I'm completely surprised by that. I thought that, Flames would be getting at least three on net, but that's the type of game that Dallas likes to play. They like to play this defensive style, typical boring hockey, as I like to call it, because I am obviously more of a goal scoring, loving hockey watcher, which I'm sure many people are. When you go out to Dallas, I think typically they've been so strong on the home. I don't want to touch the Flames here. I want to see how Sutter responds because they need to get their offense going, whether they're switching lines up or what. But they're not able to get anything done. Not on the power play, just not offensively. And when you have a team that's backed up like that, it's not someone I want to back, especially laying what are they at? -180 or -160. I don't want to lay that price on the Flames. So this is just going to be one that I'll probably just stay off and watch from a side perspective. But Dallas kind of reminds me of the Canadiens in regards to just a boring team to watch, but finds ways to win. So we'll see how this one goes. I personally hope the Flames win because everybody knows how I feel about the Dallas Stars. And then the total, I think, is juiced as well at the 5.5 to the under, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, -140. That's pretty juiced as well. So we'll see what happens. Andy, I'm curious to hear your thoughts because I think you were high on the Flames to start the series out.
Perfect segue. Andy, what do you think here? Flames and Stars?
Yeah, so I was on the Flames in game one to win in reg. I almost took the -1.5, and I'm glad I didn't because that ended up Flames 1-0. I stayed off the Flames in game two. I stayed off the side because I thought that Dallas was live, but I didn't really want to put my money on them. And I just went with the under, and so that hit. And Dallas won, and I became aware after the game, I didn't know this before, that the Flames have now lost 12 straight playoff game twos. The last time they won a game two in a series was back in 2004 in the conference finals versus the Sharks. And they've only gone up 2-0 in a series 4 times in their franchise's history. So if Calgary emerges from this series, it's something to perhaps remember in game two of the next series. But I think now we get a shift in venue. Dallas got a win, which is what they needed. And I think we see a totally different game. I think you see an offensive explosion from Calgary. I think they win this game in regulation. I think they could win it covering the puck line also. And I think this total goes over. The last 5 head-to-heads in Dallas, 3-1-1 to the over. I just think with the shift in venue and now that Dallas has won a game and actually shut out Calgary, you're going to see a response. And, what type of response are we going to see from Calgary? Well, they've been defensively excellent in both games. They've limited Dallas to 2 goals across 2 games. So I don't think they could do much more defensively. What they can do is return back to the offensive juggernaut that they were in the regular season. Now, that's always going to be somewhat hampered against a Dallas team that just is excellent at restricting offense. They do it to Colorado also. So, I don't think you're going to see an Edmonton-style explosion over the Kings. But I do think you see goals from Calgary, and I think that pushes it over. And I think Calgary wins in regulation fairly comfortably.
All right. Before we get to best bets, I will give a brief little preview for tomorrow because obviously we don't do a show on Sundays. The first game, Carolina Boston, as I said, I'm not touching no matter what. Minnesota St. Louis. I said on yesterday's show that I would be taking the Blues in game 4. I was confident the Wild would win game 3, partly because of their history in game 3s, but also because of the Blues defense. The Blues defense took another hit. So Nicoletti is already out. Bortuzzo is out. And now, I can't remember his name.
Is Letty confirmed out still for game 3, or is that up in the air?
Well, for game 4, nobody's been confirmed
I'm
out
sorry.
for game 4 yet.
Game 4,
Bortuzzo took a puck to
game
the
3.
head. He definitely has a concussion. So Bortuzzo definitely won't be playing. Letty, I'm not sure. And then that other defenseman, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but he's another good defenseman for the Blues. Let me just quickly see here. Torrey Krug. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was Torrey Krug. So Krug. So that's huge. Letty, Krug, and Bortuzzo. That's huge. So if they're not playing, obviously I like the Wild, but I was going to take the Blues in game 4, but I will not after watching the performance the Wild had yesterday. I will not be taking the Blues in game 4. I would look at the Blues first period, but I will not be having any of my money on the Blues in this series. Tampa, Toronto. I want to take Tampa to bounce back, but I'm not sure. So no official plays there. No really official plays at all, but I'm giving everyone a little preview here. And then Edmonton, LA. I'm probably going to Edmonton regulation. I think that series is like the Wild series. I think both those series are heading to game 5 finishes. Melissa, any brief thoughts about tomorrow's games?
No, I probably will be backing Tampa. I have a theory that series is going to go zigzag style and go to game 7. Obviously, Vasilevsky's numbers after a loss are something that I don't want to fade. So basically, I was on the Leafs yesterday. Ideal situation happened where I want this to be a zigzag series because I think Toronto does finally win in game 7, and those poor fans have to go through another game 7. But that's how I'm just kind of going to be capping this series as a whole. In regards to the Wild and Blues, obviously I've been on the Blues for all 3 games, and I've been on the over. That was a rough beat last night on the over. Very unfortunate not to get that 6.5. That's the problem sometimes with those 6.5s is you need both teams to contribute, and obviously the Blues did not do that part. So I don't know. I might sit that out. I do have Blues winning the series, so there's really, ideally, the Blues need to get game 4, but I kind of just want to wait that one out. Same with the total. And Carolina, I think I will back them as well for game 4. I think that we'll get a better showing from them. And I knew that Boston would play their best for game 3, but I think we're going to see Carolina's best for game 4. And what's the other one? What am I missing?
Edmonton, LA.
Oh, yeah. I think LA is a live dog still in that series. They just got smacked and embarrassed, so I'd like them to respond. I just don't know. I need to wait and see what that number is if I want to lay that on LA. But typically, I haven't really touched that series.
Yeah, it's plus 135 right now. But yeah, no official picks for me. Obviously, I'll look at things. Things change from now till tomorrow, so no official plays yet. Andy, any thoughts on tomorrow's games before we get to best bets?
I haven't given a lot of thought. I was on so for the Blues Wild series, I wasn't on a side in the first 2 games. And then I was on the Blues in game 3, and obviously they got pretty much routed. The defensive losses were significant. I still think this series goes to 7. So I'll probably back the Blues in game 4, but I need to look at the odds. I need to look at the state of their defense. And then with regards to Toronto and Tampa Bay, I said from the outset, I think this goes 7 games. I think Tampa wins it in a game 7, and that I thought that this was the most likely series to zigzag. I didn't take a side in game 1. I watched how that went, and then I've zigzagged since. I went Tampa in game 2. I went Leafs last night. I'll go back to Tampa in game 4. As Mel alluded to, Vasilevsky, I think he's 16-0 now, or 15-0 off a loss in the playoffs. So I'll go back to Tampa, provided it's not too juiced. I think they'll be a fairly significant favorite, I would imagine.
Minus 120.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Tampa.
Well, I will be locking that in, Tampa, to win game 4. And then haven't really given much thought to the Edmonton LA Kings game. And I haven't given much thought to the Carolina-Boston game yet either.
All right. Hey, it's all good. It was kind of a curveball that I threw in there, throwing in tomorrow's games, but I just thought we'd give our thoughts on that.
That's right. Should I give my best bet for the?
Yes,
for
best
tonight?
bets.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, best bets for tonight. I just wanted to do a little preview there for tomorrow.
Sure.
Anyone
sure.
know? Is there any score in the Florida game right now, or is it still scoreless?
Huberdeau scored. It's 1-0 Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how you say nil.
Yeah, that's the soccer or football. Sorry.
What do you say? 1-0.
Yeah, some people say
1-0.
1-0. Some
Okay.
people say
1-0,
1-0.
yeah. I say
1-0.
0. 1-0 probably.
1-0. I say 1-0.
Okay. I could have gone one
Canadians
love,
say nothing.
like tennis. Yeah.
No, it's my. I played soccer my whole life, so all of my coaches would always say nil all the time. So I love that.
Because I changed my background picture, can you guys see on the screen? Is the pics up there?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see because when you change your background picture, it wrecks everything. But dog of the day, none for me here. I kind of lean maybe Nashville. Yeah, I kind of lean Nashville, maybe Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to be betting any, so either of those, so I won't take it. Nick's going Dallas, and Occupancy and Sam both went Washington. Melissa, any dog that you like today?
I'm not going to do any because I personally am not betting on a dog, so I'm not just going to throw a dog out there. Although
but we know what your lean would be. We know what your lean would be.
And I will say, I mean, days like these, when you get such a chalky slate, I think Andy is the first one to tell you, you'll always see the chalky parlays, which I did on night 1. I did my chalky parlay, and of course it didn't hit. So I told myself, no more chalky parlays. So usually there's a dog that wins. Hopefully it's Pittsburgh, but I'm personally not betting it, so I'm not going to throw it in there.
All right. Andy, any dog of the day?
Yeah, dog of the day, Nashville.
Ooh, I like it. And Toller will like it too. We'll go on here to over under. Only Toller sent one in so far. Florida, Washington, first period over 1.5, which is already off to half of a good start with half the period left. Let's see. I'm not on any totals, so I'm not going to give one, but my I don't even really have a lean for you, so I won't even say a lean. Melissa, any over under that you like today?
Yeah, give me the over in the Colorado game. It's over 6.5.
Right. Andy?
Yeah, I'm the same. Nashville, Colorado over 6.5.
Right. Best bets, best parlay pieces. My best bet, as I already said, Florida and Reg. Barkov over 0.5 point for my parlay piece. Did he get a point there on that goal? I wonder. But we'll have to check. But Nick is going Nashville money line as his best bet. Dallas plus 1.5 is his parlay piece. Occupancy going Washington and Reg. Nashville and Reg plus 1,081. Nashville plus 1.5 is his parlay piece. Turnsy's on Florida and Reg. Colorado money line as his parlay piece. Sam's taking Washington money line. Washington plus 1.5 is his parlay piece. Toller took first period, national money line, tie no bet, and Florida plus 1.5 as his parlay piece. Melissa, you're going in with Florida and Reg as your best bet. And what is your parlay piece?
Oh goodness.
Do Pittsburgh to get, do Crosby to get a point. pull a weapon X and go.
Let's do Gensel to get a point. And then Crosby probably gets a point. So do Gensel.
It's I like doing the point parlays for or the points for parlay pieces because something different for the people, you know. Andy, what do you think here? I have your name and stuff. I have your stuff under veto section. Oops. What do you think here for best bet, best parlay piece?
So best parlay piece. Let's go Forsberg to get a point.
And that should be pretty good odds too. Is there the underdog?
And right. For best bet, Nashville money line.
I think that's about plus 185 right now.
Yep.
All right, and that is the show. Best luck to everybody tonight with your bets. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. Starting Monday, the times for the show will change. Eat both shows half hour later. So the baseball will be at 4 p.m. Eastern, and the NHL will be at 5 p.m. Eastern starting Monday. Best luck to everybody tonight, and we will see you, or today, and we'll see you again for more episodes of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Best of luck, guys.